I'm dropping into your lives today to challenge you. I really want you to think about what's standing in the way of your freedom. So, who's stopping you being free right now? Like, we're really good at blaming humans. We blame the government, we blame the weather, we blame our parents, we blame religion, we're blaming God, we're blaming an education system. But who is stopping us really becoming free? And do we feel like we're powerless? Now, I chose this quote from Brené Brown because our power, we could stand in our own power, but we feel powerless because we feel like life is out of control and like there's winners and losers. Well, I invite you today to consider that there isn't a winner or a loser. There's only a sense of balance. And you might be thinking, how the hell can you not have a winner and a loser? That mentality, like that belief system, is maybe causing a blockage here because it's about showing up and being seen even when we've no control over the outcome. So being vulnerable is saying, okay, so there is war in the world, there are horrible things happening that I really am glad that I'm not part of right now, but I'm choosing not to take sides. I'm choosing not to be divided. I'm choosing to stand in my power as a human being and say, I don't care what race they are, because there's one race, the human race. I don't care about borders because you look from space, there isn't any borders. Like, I don't care about sexuality because, like, who cares? Love, there's one love. Just love, like it doesn't matter. So how can we show up in the world and show who we are and our beliefs without pushing what we believe and pushing people away with our beliefs? Like, how many people think I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm a woman, I can't do this, or it's my age, you know? There is, like, look into it, where you'll find so much that out there that tells you about this story that you're telling yourself, because when we're vulnerable and we allow our vulnerability, even when it's just within ourselves, behind closed doors, it's not a weakness. It's a measure of our greatest courage. It takes courage to show up, especially when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. So what is the story that you're telling yourself? We all have a story. The difference is, do you use that story to empower yourself, or do you use the story to keep yourself as a victim? The question, like, do you use the story to empower yourself, or do you use your power to keep yourself a victim? Itself empowers you to change your life, because you can look at something and say, are you telling yourself you can't do anything about that? Are you asking yourself or reinforcing your story with a disempowering question? How about, what can I do to show up today? How can I show up in the world today? Even like sitting and praying is not a nothing. Do you know how many people are sitting there praying right now? By joining a prayer field, we're expanding the awareness and we're expanding the love, and we're showing up in the world for the highest good of everything, but without getting into the complicated stuff where people will be like, what's going on? It's all a bit too much. That, can we take things back to like simple? So let's keep it simple. If I tell myself that I'm where I am because of my health conditions, I will stop myself bettering myself to get out of the situation that I'm in. If I tell myself I'm a woman, so I've got no hope because there's men out there, I will stop myself going looking for the opportunities and getting myself further along the line. If I tell myself I'm gay, people don't like gay people, I keep myself shut in a community where there's a whole world out there waiting for you, and regardless of what your sexuality is, you are welcome and you are needed to show up in the world. So the stories that we tell ourselves define our reality. So ask yourself, what type of narrative am I describing as my day to day? So what's the story? Is it real? Now, many people say, oh, this has happened to me, this situation's happened to me. I'm doing it myself at the moment. I say, look, excuse me, this is what's happening to me right now. I haven't got a car on the road because it was taken to a garage, and since then I don't know. So for nearly 4 months now, I've not had a car. But I'm being very careful about the narrative that I'm putting around that, because yes, it's real that there isn't a car outside here, but I still have a car. And it may not be in the best of health because it's sat somewhere and it's where it's at, but I still have a car and I am grateful to have a car. And I don't know what's happening, so I don't want to stick any stories on that, because that could make it be something that it isn't. So I have a car, I am grateful, and I'm just going to try and go on about my day without letting myself get frustrated or letting my mind create scenarios of things that really might not be real. So I'm going to stick with the facts. I've got a car, it's not working, and that's okay. All my needs are met in this moment. Are you grieving the loss of a story? This is an interesting one, because people don't always associate grief with anything other than death. But so many of us, we have health conditions and we're grieving the health we think we should have. So many of us have life experiences, and those life experiences we think, okay, so we've got this life experience, but it shouldn't look like this. My life shouldn't look like this right now. It should look like something else. And we grieve. We are grieving. We are grieving the world that we think we should have. We're saying it should be like it was. We can't have anything like it was. Everything changes. Everything's impermanent. But what are the stories we're telling ourselves? Even if we'd stayed on course with whatever, it'd still look different. It would still show up differently today. So are we grieving the loss of the stories that we tell ourselves of how things should be, instead of just meeting ourselves in the moment? Grief is a normal protective process. It's how we have adapted as human beings to promote our survival in the face of trauma. Trauma isn't the event, it's the consequences of the event happening to us that stays within the body and mind and spirit and affects us from that moment on. So it's the consequences. So are we grieving something that we never even had because we think we should have it? And is it true? What's the truth? So is it real and is it true? So sure, it's real that I don't have a car. Sure, it's real there's health issues going on. Sure, it's real we might have lost our jobs. Sure, it's real that there's war going on in the world. But we're telling ourselves a lot of stories that have got nothing to do with the truth of what's in our heart. So step outside of that story as if you're a witness. So pretend it's on a movie, like you're at the cinema, you're watching it on the movie screen, and allow yourself to take yourself out of that illusion and begin a new story from the truth of your own heart, looking at what's true. So yes, it's true that there's things going on in the world. But what's our truth regarding that? And how, and as much as it's real, it's not the total truth that we like to think it is. It's very likely something else. And when we really, really look at things and keep saying, well, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? We're able to find eventually, after asking it maybe 12, 13 times, which sounds like a lot of hard work, and believe me, this stuff is sometimes, but we're able to find the real truth. And when we find out something's true or real but not really true, we're able to drop the stories. You see, true freedom, and this is a quote from Viktor Frankle, he knew about freedom because he was a Holocaust survivor. So he had been through some incredibly tough events. He had seen, like, witnessed some incredibly heartbreaking experiences. And he took that, or the collection of experiences, to better himself and to explore the meaning of life and humanity and being human, and of course looking at freedom. And he said that everything can be taken from a man. I'm sure he meant man or woman. But one thing, the last of the human freedoms, is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. So to choose one's own way. And Maya Angelou, she is an amazing poet. And she says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Okay, so here we've got someone who is an incredible woman. She led an incredible life. She has suffered incredible hardships from her colour, from her sexuality, like a gender, from a work. Like, she knew what discrimination was firsthand, and yet she showed up anyway, and she shone her light in the world, and she didn't allow the incredible circumstances and events in her life to alter anything, because she changed her attitude and she decided how to move on from that point. So what if you choose change? Okay, we're going to look here at the triangles. Now, you have the dreaded drama triangle, which is actually the games that we're all playing with each other without really thinking. I don't know how many of you know, but most of our days run on autopilot. So we're doing things without really thinking about them, and usually in a rush. So what happens is, when we're looking at the world through anxiety wearing glasses, which means that we're scared of what might happen, we're not living in the moment. And when we're scared of what might happen, we're in a victim mindset. We think and we feel that the world is happening to us and we've got no control and we can't create change. We have also, in the triangle, we have persecutors who give us a hard time for things, and we have rescuers that want to save us because we're just so stuck. But this is an invite today to move from being so stuck and wanting to save people and getting all caught up in things and thinking that people should be doing things a different way, and recognizing that we can empower each other. We have the power within ourselves. Yes, starting with just you or just me, or it's whoever wants to play this game. We can twist it and we become winners at our own game. We don't start rescuing people, we coach them. We turn around and say, well, actually, like, I really hear what you're saying right now, but do you think it's possible that we could give this a go? Or if there was something different that you could do in this moment that would look like what they actually want you to help them with, what would it look like? And if you're a person like telling people what to do, you can stop telling people what to do and challenge them, invite them, give them the invitation and say, how about I invite you to look at this from this perspective instead? So we can coach people into like, this is awesome what you're doing, but how about this? And we can challenge them and invite them to make changes. And of course, we're looking at people that are really kind of stuck, and we're able to say to them, or maybe you're feeling kind of stuck too right now, and that's okay, it happens to all of us. And we get in these situations, we're like, we are feeling really stuck right now, and how can we create this? How can we evolve and change this circumstance so that we can create a new direction? So we can create our solutions. Because when we're shifting our mindset, as Reverend Michael says here, from being a victim, we can become the creator of our experiences. So instead of saying there is nothing that I can do because of my health right now, we can take small steps to improve our health. I know because I've done it. Like, I don't know anyone alive that can't take small steps, or where there isn't something possible that would improve their lives in this very moment, health-wise, and in every other circumstance. So it's about our attitudes, because our attitudes give us the power for gratitude. So attitudes can become gratitude. We can find something to be thankful for. We're able to move into our divine potential and live our best life. Yes, it's possible. So there's 4 stages of growth. One is to me. Now that's where the majority of people are living right now, and it doesn't have to be this way. Does this sound like you? So do you think that you have that victim mindset, that I feel stuck, I can't get out of this situation, I'm really like, things are just not working for me, it's just the hand of cards that I've been dealt, it's fate, it's destiny, I am destined to live like this, it's karma, should have been like, I could have been really awful in a past life, and this is why I'm living this stuff now. I have been in that mindset. I really try my damnedest never to ever go back to that way of thinking ever again. But it's a practice. Do you blame people? It is so easy to say, well, do you know what? I've not got my car right now, it's someone's fault. Actually, I haven't got my car right now, and it's no one's fault. It's circumstances. This is just the way it is. And it's no one's fault. It's, you know, do you feel like you've got no control over circumstances that you're going through right now? I hear you. If that's the way you feel, that you've got no control, but you have the control. You just don't feel like it, because there's always a way to alter your perspective of the situation. There's a way of finding a different way of changing things, to move from fear into a place of kind of acknowledgement, if you like. So knowing that actually we have got control, we can like take control of the situation, and it doesn't even need manipulation or anything, because there's so many facets. We don't have to live our lives in fear anymore. And the next stage is by me. So most people could live here, like, well, we all could live there. And when we're living a life that's going by me, it means that I'm creating my life. So I'm learning and I'm growing through the situations, instead of stopping in the situation. Instead of being stuck in a situation, I can grow through it. It means that we accept, or I accept, or you accept responsibility for the situation. So looking at what you can be responsible for and let go of whatever you can't be. I'm going to go on to that very soon. So we're going to give up blame. We're going to forget about blaming people, shaming people, trying to manipulate people, because we can take control. There are things that we can take control of in our lives. We don't need to blame anyone. So we're able to step quite smoothly, with a slight alteration of looking at our perspective from to me into by me. Now, the next step of growth, the stage of growth, is through me, and it's much more difficult to get to a state where we have faith in what's going on is meant for us. We have faith, and we give up trying to control and manipulate and fix things, and we become a channel for life to work through us. And we awaken to the fact that there's a whole world out there, and it's not to me, but it's through me. So it's not about being awake and being an awake person, like most people that say they're awake. I just wouldn't listen to them. It's having faith. Now, faith isn't religious. Faith means that we learn to trust ourselves, and we learn to trust this, like we build up our self-respect, and we build up our courage, and we build up our resilience, and we get to a state where we just know that things are going to happen and they're going to work all right in the end. And it's a very cool place to be, because I can live quite a bit of my life through me rather than by me. And I'm probably mixed between by me and through me. And the last stage of growth in all aspects of our life is as me. When life works as you, where you are completely one with life and you're in the flow, where there's no separation between you and anyone else. So you certainly wouldn't be into war or racism or discrimination or anything that keeps you separate from anything else in the world, where love and peace is an integrated part of our lives. So we don't have to look at, like, try and go for 4. It's an awesome thing to go for, but it's really, really life-changing to go for by me. It really is life-changing when you take back your power and you drop the extra weight. So we look at what's our responsibility. Now, this circle changed my life. I found it years ago. And years ago, when I came across this and I read it, I had this whoa moment, right? And this whoa moment said to me, oh my goodness, like, you are trying to help so many people and do so many things, and it's not your responsibility. So you need to let that all be as it is and concentrate on yourself. So we've got a fire plane going over, everything's fine right here, right now. There's no fire it's just we're quite close to the aerodrome, so when there is a fire they usually do fly over. It's beautiful to send them the blessings and see them flying over. So this is not your responsibility. So other people's words. So when it says other, so anything and anyone that isn't you. So you're not responsible for the words coming out of people's mouths, whether they're in government, whether they're in education, whether they're on YouTube, Facebook. It can be written word, it can be spoken word. You're not responsible for that. There is absolutely nothing you can do about these things. Okay, so other people's mistakes, that's their problem. Like, If you've got a problem, it's yours. If you can let that go and someone else has got a problem, it's still their problem, they can keep it. Okay? There's other people's beliefs. So what are their belief systems? Does it even matter? You know, we're all entitled to our own belief systems, and belief systems is BS. It's the bullshit that we're telling ourselves. It's the stories we tell ourselves that keep us stuck in some way or another, keep us attached to something, and create a whole load of grief because we think things should be other than the way that they are. So then we've got the consequences of other people's actions. So if someone does something, that is not your responsibility how it turns out, whether it works or not. That's their lesson to learn. Now, if you saw how that was going to turn out, you're very welcome to turn around to someone and say, I've got a funny feeling that this might go this way. Or, but first, before you tell them that, you can always say, I'd like to share something, like, are you cool if I share this with you? Because I'm not sure, like, it's nothing personal, but I've got this gut feeling that I want to share. So we're able to see that the consequences of other people's actions, so people choosing to go to war, that is their choice. It's not your choice. People's choosing to hurt other people, that is their choice. You don't have to join them. People to cause damage to people's property, you don't have to go there. People to be racist, sexist, discrimination in any form, you don't have to join in. You have free will. So other people's fears, if someone's scared about something, it's perfectly okay to honor that, but you don't have to join them in it. So there's all sorts of fears about war and nuclear weapons and chemtrails and what's the other stuff, like control and things that tell you that you're stuck in a world that you've got, you know, you've got no power in. That's their problem. You don't need to keep that. You don't have to believe in that. Look for what's real, what's true. Other people's ideas, we've all got billions of ideas in our heads every day. What you choose to do with your ideas and other people's ideas is up to them. What you choose to do with your own is up to you. Other people's actions, how people behave, is their problem, not yours. You are not responsible for anyone else's behavior. You are responsible for your words, how you write them, how you text them, how you voice message, what you say in the world. You're responsible for your behavior. How are you showing up in the world? What can other people see and like you doing? If you were someone else, what could you see yourself doing? How do you want to be regards that? How do you feel you want to behave in the best way regarding the circumstances? How are you acting out? How are you showing up in the world? Are you doing good for others? Are you doing good for yourself? Are you living the life that you'd like to see other people live in? You've got to take responsibility for your own self and think, how am I showing up in the world, and how do my actions matter? Like, what effort am I putting into my day? Can I improve my effort? How do I take responsibility for my efforts? For my ideas, all my ideas, I might have some really funky, good ideas. What can you do about your ideas and making your ideas come true? Like, everything in the world started with a thought, and that thought become an idea. It played on someone's mind until it became something. Someone made a laptop. That was just someone's idea one day, and no one ever had heard of laptops. It happened. It's real. So you're able to take your ideas and be responsible for them and the consequences of your actions. So whatever you choose to do, however you choose to show up, you're responsible. So it's time to put you first. It's because the benefit of choosing self-responsibility, so being responsible for yourself instead of trying to tell other people what they should and shouldn't be doing, and trying to manipulate life, like, so blaming other people for things, is that you have an in with the person who can do something about it. So you are the only person that can change your world. You and you alone. You have the power to change your world. Personal responsibility is personal power. So you can choose to be responsible and put you first. And I invite you to do that. And I know it's not easy. I know, because I now see how owning our story, loving ourselves through the process, is the bravest thing that we can ever do. It is so hard to show up sometimes. It's so hard to get out of bed. I know that. But owning our story and just keep taking that next step, you got this. You know, one day you're going to look back and you're going to see that that health problem isn't as it was, or like, no matter what, even with terminal illness, you can change your perspective over it. Even when we're facing death, I've been there and I've looked at death, and I death is now a good friend of mine. You know, I made my peace. So it's how we look at things rather than what our belief system is around them. When we look at things based on a belief system that's built in fear, it really screws up how we see things in the world and what we can do about it. You are the conscious creator, so your awareness creates things. You are the designer of your destiny and the author of your story. You and you alone can create the life that you want to live. You can rewrite your next chapter. Like, it's not about destiny. It's not about some magic crystal ball. You control what's happening next. You and you alone. So turn over that page, start afresh. How are you going to like design what you're going to do today and how you're going to show up in the world? You're needed in this world. We all have so many unique specialisms and we're so fucking awesome. We need you in the world, whatever you look like. Like, there's so many things that I cannot do and I need someone else. We live in an interdependent universe. Please, please, please keep showing up, keep doing your thing, because I totally believe in you. And I know that you are capable of more than you ever dreamed of. So please just keep moving forward, keep trying. I believe in you. And I wish you could see you through me, through my eyes, because you would see how great you really are and your potential to move forward and to change your life and live whatever length of life, be it a short one or be it a long one. You have the potential to change that and make it something just fucking awesome. Belonging is belonging to yourself first, because it's easy to think I don't belong in this world because we can feel so separate, but you do belong in this world. But until you feel like you belong, and you belong here in your body consort, you're not really going to feel that you really fit in. I need you to speak your truth, share your truth with the world, tell your story, and never betray yourself. Never sell yourself out for other people, because they don't know you. They don't know you, your unique you, and they don't know how you're needed to show up in this world. So don't live for anyone but yourself. Stand strong in your truth. Never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept that no one's definition of your life defines you. So you define you, okay? Only you know who you really are. And if you think, well, I really don't know who I fucking am, Like, I don't know. I sit with me and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know, like, even how to get out of bed in the morning. Like, what the are you on about, woman? And I'm telling you, regardless of how you're feeling right now, you have something inside you that I need, like, that everyone else needs, but they don't know it yet because you don't know it yet. And until you tune into who you really are and find out how to find that joy and that excitement in your life again, which might feel like it's absolutely impossible, but honestly, I promise you it's there. And until, like, crazy thing, man, I buy bubbles. Like, I'm in my 40s and I buy bubbles because I like blowing bubbles, and I like the dogs chasing bubbles and the cat chasing bubbles and watching bubbles in the wind because I enjoy it. It's fun. Okay. So if you need to make yourself some bubbles up today, make yourself up some bubbles. If you need to eat squirted cream out of the bottle, you eat squirted cream out of the bottle. You do what, like, I'm giving away my secrets now, I know. But seriously, if you need to do something, you need to, and it's safe to do it, do it. You know, sing, dance, find the fun in life again, find the beauty in life again. And I know how hard it is, but you can do it. I believe in you. So you're not a victim. Life is not happening to you, and you feel affected by the world, and I totally get that. I've been there, I've lived through that, but I invite you to release that blame and that shame and the guilt and take responsibility for your own life, right? Take responsibility. Look at what is it that you're responsible for and move through, like, grow with that. Okay, may that be the thing you need to drop all the shit that no longer serves you and march forward. Stand in your own power. Like, truly, you got this. Manifest a consciousness, stepping up into by me. Life is happening by me. Life is happening because you creating your life. Fuck yes. Like, yes, you can create your life. I know that you can. I do it. I create my life. I will not be told by anyone how to live my life. And you can do that too. We all were born with rights. Anyone can say whatever, but that's their BS. Yeah. You have a right. You have a right to be you. And no one can take that right away from you, even if that you has to exist in your head for a while where no one else can see it. You have a right. Hold that right, claim that right, and stand in your power. Release trying to control anything else and just stick with you. You can channel consciousness, which is nothing woo-woo. It's awareness. So you can bring in awareness, you can feel into yourself, you can feel your intuition. Your body consort is going to tell you when you're getting shit wrong. It's going to tell you the right path to go on. Listen to the body. You can listen to it. If you quieten down enough to hear, then life can start moving through you. So I invite you to release the sense of being separate to anything and recognize that the oneness of everything and how we're all connected, not just through the World Wide Web, but we're all connected through the air we breathe and through the water that we drink. And like, we're all like, look at us, look at everything that exists through a microscope. All those little cells, they're so cute and so awesome. They're all dancing little cells, and we are a whole body full of dancing little cells in a whole world of dancing little cells. And there's not a lot different, really, when you break it down to that level. We're all the same. One consciousness. Life is happening as me. And I invite you to be one with source, divine source. You call it what you like, universal source. Be one with. We're all just dancing little energy cells. Like, we're just all one big fat love. And some of us can't tune into that love because we're so veiled, we're so conditioned, we're so held back by our own belief system. But as we drop that weight, I'm telling you, you move forward, you grow through life. And it's time to grow through life. It's time to stop the BS and start growing through life, taking responsibility for our actions. I want to say, what if? Like, what if the best thing in life happens unexpectedly? What if the best stories begin with, and all of a sudden, the best adventures were never planned out as they were turned out to be. I have had some really awesome adventures, and I never planned not one of them. Not one. And those adventures we planned, they was boring, and they never went as planned either. So free yourself from the expectation of things should be a certain way. It allows you to stop grieving the world you thought it should be, and it allows you to move into a world that it is accepting it is as it is in this very moment, this very now moment, where everything's just so beautiful. Like, and the best comes when and from you least expect it. I'm so grateful for you hanging out with me today. I really want you to take this, just this sharing this free gift into your lives today. Creative Rootz Portugal, I am here to help you transform and help you meet your grief and how you're feeling about how you think things should be, and transmute what doesn't serve you so you can move forward, so you can improve your life, so you can change the way you're interacting with things and really take your power back and reclaim and recover the roots of who you really are. So I love you so, so much. I believe in you, and if you need me, I'm only ever only a message away.